Yo, Tube, what's good? It's Aeghis. In this video, I'm going to be going over a set of games here I had on the Arcane Mage and Solo Shuffle. This is like 2700 MMR. I think these were the games for, like, at the time, it was the number 2 spot. But yeah, basically, we can take a look at the spec here. So you can see here on the left side, you can't see the talents to the bottom left here, but there are none. Just so you guys are aware. This is the spec that you can see here on the left tree, on the general tree. And then you can see on the right side of the tree, I'm playing a pretty standard build, as I would say. I'd say the only points that you would see put elsewhere is the one in Imp Barrier is sometimes put into Arcane Echo. However, I don't like Arcane Echo personally. I don't like that it breaks CC. And I don't think it's a worth trade-off on your Magi to add. I would say on average, it adds about 3 to 5% of your damage per game. So it's like a 3 to 5% damage increase, which I don't think is worth ruining a kill window, especially considering with a lot of the comps in this lobby, I'll be pressing polymorph. So yeah, not really too big of a fan of that. And then you can see we have where is it? Ring of Fire, Temporal Shield, and then you have like a couple options for this third talent. You could pick Master Shepherd if it's a comp you think you're going to be sheeping with. So in this lobby, for example, I would take Master Shepherd whenever I played like with the Windwalker and probably the Priest as well. Pretty standard build here, but with an augmentation, I kind of don't really plan on sheeping that much because you know, I just want to be doing as much damage as possible with an aug. But yeah, basically we got the build on lock, and I do also want to reiterate for the Imp Priz Barrier. For Imp Priz Barrier, the reason another reason why this talent is really good is because you have Mass Barrier, as you can see down here. So you can put it on your healers. Let's say I applied it to my healer right now, and then the enemy Shadow Priest tried to do a go. Like what an enemy Shadow Priest go is going to look like. A potential go that could that they could do here is they could like para the healer into a fear or into a horror or a silence, and all of those CCs except for the para would be shorter duration with the prismatic barrier because it's a 40% CC reduction to whoever has the Priz barrier on them. So that's another like really good thing that you want to be looking to do, and why you're playing mass barrier over mass invis. Just thought I'd throw that in there. So you can see here, my first 2 combos of the game are Barrage. The reason why I'm just spamming Barrages right here is because, so basically this add-on right here is going to show you my globals that I do. So we're going to be following this a lot. We're going to be following this for a majority of the video as we break down why I'm using the globals in the order that I am. So I'm throwing out my Barrages because I'm trying to stack this buff here that you can see. I use Tell Me When to show me this buff here. It gives me a haste buff whenever I stack this up. So the way that this stacks is like every barrage you throw it, increase your haste by 2%. It stacks up to 5 times. So I throw it to about 4 or 5, and then I now have 10% more haste. And then this is when I'll start to look at trying to get my damage out. You can see I'm also spamming spell steals on some of these as well, because I want to make sure I clean the target before I send my gun on too. One thing that's really strong with Arcane is that you can spell steal pretty infinitely. So making sure your target, there's like a couple things that's like really crucial. Having as many clear casting procs as you can before you send your burst with Magi and whatnot is very important. Having 5 stacks of Arcane Tempo is very important. And then making sure the target is like remotely clean, doesn't really have important debuffs. They don't have to be completely clean, but just no important debuffs that you can spell steal. For example, that freedom, I grab that freedom instantly. Another thing I'm doing by keeping the target by spamming barrages, I'm keeping chrono shift on them, so they're perma snared. So you can see my dragon gets a nice triple stun here. I opt to sheep the healer off, and then I start to arcane surge. And then so yeah, full sheep on the healer. This was a beautiful setup. I did all of my like pre-tasks, you know. I got the 5 tempo, the target was clean, triple stun, sheep 1, pair the other, arcane surge into barrage to refresh my charges again, and then I send my Magi. So now we can see how I do my damage. I do a clear casting missiles into an arcane a presence of mine arcane blast. I have to resheep because the pally gets out, and then I just go back to spamming missiles. And then you can see here, I'll back it up again. Oh, sorry. This is what I do. I forgot to mention this. Before I sheep off this as well, I Priz Barrier so that my team has the shields. So that when this team, the reason why I did this is because whenever this team trinkets or like tries to defend this go, they might try to send one of their own. So I want to make sure we all have the barrier so that any like triple fear right here that the priest might like trinket fear them. So it's all going to be short. So yeah, the burst, the Magi, missiles, palm blast. I go for the resheep, and then there's another debuff on Arcane, or another buff that for how many missiles you're sending, it increases the damage of your next barrage, and that's going to be indicated by this buff here, Arcane Harmony. So I opt to send in another missiles here instead of barraging. So you can see I channel another clear casting missiles here, let it fully channel till that hit 10, and then I threw in my barrage there. That hits for a nice 127k non-crit. Then I'm just going into, I'll reapply my Nether Tempest. I will set my missiles, refresh my tempo stacks, and then I'll just start to build up more charges here so that my next palm is going to hit a little bit hard. Something, I actually have a bad habit of doing this on Arcane, is that you remember earlier in the go, I stopped my palm double blast to resheep. I should have just sent another palm blast because the Pally trinket sacked, or he got out of the sheep and sacked. So kind of a waste there. We get triple feared, but you can see my monk has that barrier that we applied to him. So we reduced the Hodge and we reduced the barrier, the fear. So we got our teammate here. He's sitting low amounts of CC due to us. And then guess what? He just gets to trade the cocoon without having to trinket for it. So pretty good. I'm stealing the target right now. I'm spam spell stealing the Shadow Priest here to get power infusion. Now, since I don't have Magi, I don't have Surge, and I'm kind of running low on orbs. I don't have any Arcane charges. I look to get a Ring of Fire down, and then I just spend my clear casting missiles as I get them, refresh my Arcane tempo. I actually screwed up a little bit. I have to wall because the monk is connecting to me. I have Kiefer's on me, so he's always going to crit all of his spells. Siphene is taking on me as well, and the monk has a freedom. I can't really kite him. So now I'm going to take a little bit of damage. I up to double to B just to get them off me. Full sheep. Looking to kick the MD. I do get faked, unfortunately. But I'm creating some distance. I'm at 5 Arcane Tempo stacks here. So I'm just going to look to get slows up on everybody here with Arcane Barrage. Going to leave Chrono Shift on them. I send in 1 orb because I realize that they're kind of like in a nice area that I can get to at least 3 charges from that orb, which is very nice. So I can cast a blast here to finish off the arcane charges and get 1 more. Boom. Just cast another one, cast a few more, because right now what I'm doing is I'm fishing for clear castings. I want to try to build up as many clear casting procs as I can before my next Magi, but I'm getting a bit unlucky. I haven't really gotten any. There's not really a lot of buffs on the target to spell steal either, so that wouldn't be a good way to generate them. I see the monk gets a freedom, so I instantly steal that. I put a slow on him. I spam slows on him. Lock the Searing Glare there. Throw an orb, but I kind of whiffed it a little bit, so I have to throw another one. We get Karma there. This was my Magi go. So I'll back it up just to show you like my globals on the Magi. So, Ring of Fire, it's like a preemptive global. Well, that's something that you want to look for before you send your burst. So, Ring of Fire. Then I apply my Magi here. Then I Nether Tempest. The monk is on me. I'm throwing a Barrage here. I steal the freedom. I slow him. And now I'm going back to my target here, who I'm bursting. Since I walk into a sweep, I have to blink out. I CS this. I meant for this orb to hit both of these targets. I throw a barrage there, get an orb barrage proc from it. So not really a good like damage go for me, right? Like I didn't really have too much damage into my Magi. We still forced cooldowns regardless. But yeah, not a great go in terms of damage for me. Right here, I'm trying to peel. I'm sheeping the monk. I'm rooting everybody. I saw a nice opportunity there to get a quad orb, fill my charges, my arcane charges. Sheep the monk again. I'm going to Frost, Arcane Blast. Notice my tempo stacks are falling here, so hopefully I Barrage. Got it. I greeded that Arcane Blast cast, something you can do sometimes. The reason why it's a greed is because I know I need to throw my Barrage to refresh my tempo, but I know I have just enough time to cast at least one Arcane Blast with my 4 charges before I throw them away. So I get a nice Arcane Blast, and then I throw my Barrage, which actually procs an orb, because if you guys didn't know, Orb Barrage, whenever you have Arcane charges down here, you have a chance to proc an orb on those if you have like max. Ring of Fire. This is actually a really good Ring of Fire. A lot of people don't value Ring of Fire as high as they should. Like, they'll just throw it randomly. Ring of Fire is a lot of damage, guys. So like, definitely try to be hitting. Sorry, my hair is like being weird. Try to have a good Ring of Fire like value in most games, you know? Look at this. In this one, I get it pretty much. I get it on the kill target, and it's like around the other two. But mainly, you just want to make sure it's on the kill target. You don't really care about cleaving. You don't want to be that guy who's like farming scoreboard damage. But it's good, obviously, to get it on all of them in this scenario, because we're trying to kill them all. So he stuns over it. I'm just cleaning the target here with Spell Steal. I get the Arcane Surge off. I throw in a Barrage right there just to get another... basically, the reason why I Barrage a lot of the times before I Magi is so that my tempo is good. It's like a fully refreshed Arcane tempo, so that while my Surge is up, I'm not having to cut my damage short by throwing a Barrage to make sure I keep it up, you know what I'm saying? So then I Magi now. Now this is when you have the most damage. You have the Magi on the target. Ring of Fire is on him. It's taken. You have 2 clear castings with Surge up, ideally 3, but it's all good. And then the target is clean, so not a lot of buffs. So this is so good. The Ring of Fire is ending a little bit. The only way this could be better is if I had a Tempest on target, so I apply it now. And then I start to go into my Arcane Missiles. Barrage, and he would have 100% died here had I had 4 Arcane charges. So, it's a bit unfortunate. Because you see here, since I only have 1, this Barrage that I'm throwing is going to do a lot less damage. So he's in execute range here. I have a 10 stack Harmony. Surge is up. Like, I have Ebon Might. I throw my Barrage, and it only hits for 86k, even with all those buffs, because I don't have Arcane charges. So it could be said that I wasted an orb somewhere down the line, or it could be said that the Barrage that I threw prior to that wasn't necessary. So definitely making mistakes. But take a global to kill the Fiend, and we take him out with just some missiles into Barrage. So you can see like the power of missilesing into Barrage, because that's going to sack your Harmony, and that's how you get those big executes, you know? All right, so we have a round here with the Windwalker Monk. So my pally is casting Tears, so this means that we kind of want to move in. However, they cast Ebon Might. So we kind of just have defensive positioning right now. I'm throwing in my Barrages. I should start to clean this target, or clean whoever we're going to go. So I start spell stealing them. I was really unfortunate Shimmer into that. And the reason why I also switched to Shimmer is because with a Windwalker, you want to try to play to win the game usually, especially into casters like this. And as Blinkstun, you want to just not include Polymorph in your rotation, like that last game. Like, I didn't really sheep anything. It was mainly just Barrages, Spell Steal, stuff like that. And this game is going to be more like still that same thing, but with the introduction of Polymorph, and that's where Shimmer will come in handy. So I'm trying to set up a go here. I get my Surge off, and then I should Arcane Barrage here to restack my tempo. I have 2 clear casting buffs. I try to get a Ring of Fire down. I want to basically Spell Steal this target too, something I didn't do quite before my Surge, but it's okay to spend like the first couple of seconds doing it. You can even see I get a 3rd clear casting. So if I can get this Blistering Scales off, this is the buff I'm really concerned about. I also get PI in the process. It's the last buff I get, unfortunately. And dude, look at how unlucky this is. Like, this is so unlucky. So look here, Ring of Fire, Spell Steal, Spell Steal. I'm getting the Sphere. Look at the next buff I get is PI. So now he has 2 more buffs, but then look, he gets like this random. So I get the Fortitude. Now he has 1 buff left. I'm about to get the Blistering Scales. So if you guys didn't know, Blistering is like it has a Thorns effect, and it gives him a fat shield. So I don't want my Windwalker to be attacking into that. So I'm about to get it, and then look, right before that, the healer gets like a procced Renewing Mist, and then I steal that, and then he gets a power word shield, and I steal that. So I still can't get the blistering. And then I finally get it. Then I can start doing my damage. So I Magi, spend 2 missiles. There's no time here to include a Tempest. I only have 5 more seconds on my Surge. So I do a 3rd missiles here. I don't even, you see, I'm not even going for Arcane Blasts because I don't have enough time. Like, barrage, after this missiles, barrage into orb into barrage into orb would be way more damage than just 2 missiles. So that's what I do. Barrage. I take 1 Palm Blast to kill the Fiend, and then I throw another one. So that was still decent damage. Like, I still just did 2 million damage right there. If you can't really see at the top. Or sorry, I did 1.6 million. But yeah, I definitely got a little bit unlucky, and also I just didn't really, I should have maybe held the Surge. So a little mistake by me here. So right now I'm just casting Arcane Blast because there's nothing else better to do. The target's pretty clean. I don't have any orbs. I want to go for a shifting power here. Maybe I can start sheeping DPS a little bit. My Pally gets free Sleepwalked, and I had CS for it, or I even had Barrier for it. So a mistake on my end. Shifting power here, getting kind of low. Oh wait, hold on. I need to do something. I need to restart this. There we go. Yeah, I'm sheeping Shadow Priest. I'm just trying to live here. Knock that guy back. Displace for heal. Barrier. We're looking good now. Okay, I will actually go down and break down this defensive sequence in depth, because I know a lot of people struggle. So far, everything we've talked about has been offensive, and I want to show you guys a little bit of a defensive sequence as well. So I sheeped the healer here. Bad sheep. That should have been on the priest. I was still in go mode because I think I was like tilted that I didn't get the best arcane surge in the opener. So that's another thing, is don't let emotion get to you in that way. Like, emotion clouded me in this moment that I didn't see that immediately, that I should have started playing defensive. Just accept that it was like, you know, not a good go, and then accept the tempo of the game that you're at now, which is that you should be playing more defensive. So I get a full shifting power off here, but you can see it's actually kind of a greed, because I'm getting Void Torrent channeled on me when I could easily just meld this or wall this or barrier or temp it. But instead I opt to let the shifting tick full, because I want to get my damage back as soon as I can. My Magi, my Palm, my Arcane Surge. Then after that I mass barrier to further reduce any more CC. So you can see I had normal barrier, but I opted to use the mass one here because I wanted to reduce the stun and silence that are going to fall up on my Pally here. You can see the silence is really short now. I meld temp shield, and I'm spamming sheeps on priest. Now the monks get to me. The monk gets to me. I'm gonna blast wave him off me. Display stuff top myself, and now I'm full health. So pretty good defensive sequence for me, I would say. I was able to greed all my major defensives, which are greater invis and ice block. Not a bad defensive sequence. Then we go right into offense here with a ring of fire on everybody around them, and then I spend a clear casting missiles. Send in my barrage to get at least a little bit of tempo. Looks like I'm actually kind of slacking in terms of tempo this game though. So I'm doing this go with a little bit of less haste, which kind of sucks. Not playing too great offensively this game, I would say. And then I'm just going to go into my damage rotation here. I throw in my barrage because I know I have 2 orbs down here. So that really allows me to throw in my barrage without feeling too bad about it, because I know I can just get more. So that's what I do. I actually go for an Arcane Blast cast here, get caked. Ring of Frost. Casting sheep on healer. And now you can see that I'm gonna go for this. A lot of people ask me, when should I cast Arcane Blast? This is a pretty good portion. I have no clear castings at all. If I throw this barrage, I have a chance of breaking my own sheep if I proc Orb Barrage, which is the talent that we discussed earlier, that whenever you throw the barrage, you have a 40% chance at full charges to get an orb with it. So I'm blasting here is to make sure I don't break CC. I think he gets gripped in, and it he swaps the healer and it breaks him out of CC. You can see here, then I'm just doing my normal damage rotation. I got a clear casting and then threw my barrage in. I orb to get back to 4 arcane charges. Go for the resheep, palm, arcane blast, and then I throw my barrage. Now, if this barrage crits, it might one-shot him because he's in execute range, but it didn't. Looks like it didn't. Got him really low though. He gets the disperse off, and then he gets totted through it. So it was enough. We didn't play great offensively this game, and I can even did one thing I also don't think I did was I didn't re-spell steal the other blistering if that ever came out. So yeah, you see blistering here. Oh no, I did get it. Okay, good. Yeah, that was on my first shitty go, I think. Yeah, this was on the before the go. At some point, I let my tempo stacks fall too, which is not good. Somewhere around here. So I have 5 tempo here. Where did it go? Oh, it's when I got super unlucky spell stealing. Damn. But there was definitely a goal where I could have done it. But anyways, I'm going to end the video here. I know this is only round 2 out of 6, but I don't want this video to go on too long. If you guys want to see a part 2 where I go over the rest of the rounds, drop it in the comments. Show me that you guys are at least still watching and are here and you want to see more of this type of content. If you do, like I said, just drop a comment, let me know. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Hope you learned something. Peace out.